Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. For those of you who are new, welcome. My name is Amanda and I do videos about my real life and provide tips and advice, so feel free to hit that subscribe button if you have not already. Today I want to share how I got motivated to invest in my 20s and just share what really motivated me, because I think it's really hard as someone who is younger or who is young in like your teens or 20s or even 30s to really think about this. So I'll kind of share what motivated me and really drove me to invest. I'm just really trying to share what motivated me to hopefully help motivate you as well. Honestly, it was really just articles that I kept seeing online over the past few years, ever since I started working. These were articles about like the huge life expenses in the future. It wasn't until last year that it started really hitting me. So granted, I know this may be different for you if you don't live in the Bay Area, but hear me out because I feel like this still applies and is still motivating regardless of whether you live in the Bay Area or not. There are tons of articles about the median or average home value in the Bay Area, and I think around now it's about $800,000 for a house. And just like on average, like obviously San Francisco is more expensive, but just like all around the Bay Area in California. And that's just crazy. I also see articles about how much a child costs, and it comes out to like an average of like $200,000 per child up until they're 17 years old. So that doesn't even include college, which could be like an additional like, I don't know, $100,000, assuming they go to like a four-year college, right? Then you think of retirement, and there are articles about how much money you need to retire nowadays, and it ranges from like $1 million to like $10 million. And then it just kind of like started hitting me at the same time last year or 2 years ago. It's kind of mind-blowing. And so basically with all these different numbers in my head, I started thinking of all these large expenses for the future backwards. So basically this is how I thought of it. I'm gonna be a little bit more conservative because let's just say our first home is like $600,000. And although it's not necessary, we would probably want to try to aim for a 20% down payment, which comes out to about $120,000 total. And that doesn't even include like monthly mortgage payments. So $120,000 for a down payment on a house. Then you get two kids and it's about $200,000 per kid up until they're 17. And I want two. So that means $200,000 times two kids is $400,000. And of course, that doesn't include college. Like, great. I'm definitely a huge supporter of college, and I would love for my kids to go to college. So assuming that they go to a four-year university or something like that, like average $100,000, and I kind of just like pull that out of like what the colleges here cost, like for state or UC. And for those of you out of state, you know, UC stands for University of California. And so that's, you know, $100,000 per kid. So multiply that by 2, and that brings me to $200,000. And that's just assuming that they don't pursue further education, they don't get a master's, they don't get a doctorate or anything like that. So yeah. And then the biggest one is retirement. So typically retirement would be higher priority than kids' college education, because your kids can always take out loans, student loans that they can pay off on their own. Worst case, if you can't pay it off, which a lot of people do, they have to take out student loans. So really you want to put your retirement first, and that is like a huge chunk of money. We're talking millions of dollars. And so add $1 million in just to be conservative on the low end. And obviously this depends on like your standard of living or where you're living, stuff like that. But let's just say $1 million. Add that all up and it kind of comes out to like around over $1.5 million over the next 20 years. And as if that was not enough, that doesn't even include short-term expenses. So we're talking about like monthly payments, like your mortgage, your monthly bills, and groceries and household items and all that other stuff. That doesn't include annual things either, like vacations or taxes or insurance. And then that also doesn't include like once in a while things like an upgrade to a bigger home or an upgrade to get a nicer car or even just like paying for our wedding, which is coming up soon. So when you like think of it all together, it's really intimidating because that's such a huge number. Like how the heck are you going to get to like over $1 million worth of savings? Like there is like no way. It's like it seems so out of the question and so intimidating that you just don't want to deal with it. You don't want to adult, you don't want to grow up, you don't want to think about money, you don't want to think about finances. For me, that was kind of like the turning point, as is like no matter how much I don't want to think about these expenses or these big humongous like future life things, they're gonna be there, they're gonna happen whether I like it or not. And of course, like my fiance and I, we work at tech companies, we work in the Bay Area. However, we still don't have the salaries to get to that at all. So just putting that out there, because like our salary alone will not get us there. There really is only one other option, and it's to invest. I do want to save more information about investing for a future video, but long story short, like investing helps make your money work for you, and it helps make your money grow without you having to do a lot of it. It's really just with time. Like with time, the longer the time you have to let it grow, the more it'll grow. And it's just a matter of compound interest. I feel like at this point in our lives, like when we're younger, when we don't have, you know, a lot of huge expenses to worry about, we just think like, oh, investing sounds so intimidating, or it's so scary, or I just don't have enough money to do it. Like honestly, I'm just like really here to tell you and motivate you that that is not true. Like anyone can start. You can start out with very little, and you can start whenever. Like anyone can invest. It's not like something that only rich people do, because people do it to get rich. I think it really does take like learning more about it, and so that's why I do want to create more videos about this topic, because I know it's super scary and it just seems like impossible or not meant for you. But yeah, I just want to put it out there. Investing will help make those large ticket items more attainable, because there's just no way you can reach millions of dollars on just like salary alone, unless you're like an executive or some, you know, something like that, or like have a huge IPO and like get rich off that. But I hope this kind of gets you thinking about the future and all those big expenses that we have to deal with, whether we like it or not, because we can't just assume that things are going to work out and things are just going to magically fall into place. Because unless you're going to inherit like a ton of money, which I would be jealous of, by the way, you're gonna have to put in a little bit of work and research on your end. You don't have to feel pressured to get into it like full on, you know, just learn a little bit here and there about investing or about personal finance and what you can do to help you reach your goals. It's really not as scary as people think, and anyone can invest. I hope to cover more of these topics in future videos, so please don't forget to subscribe to see more videos like this. Let me know down in the comments below if this video motivated you even just a little bit, and if it didn't, let me know what does motivate you, or what has motivated you in the past to really think about your future or personal finance, because I really want to try to build a community in the comments and try to talk more about money and about finances, because it's just not talked about enough, and we're not taught it in school, and I feel like this is such an important topic, an important part of life. Please give this video a like if you enjoyed this or if you found this helpful, and I hope to see you in the next video. Thank you so much for watching. Bye guys.